All right, so we'll stand for the Amida.
Okay.
As we always do. So, Yikada. Is that a good key for you? Yikada.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that. So, by this point, we should be. We don't have to be feet together yet, but a good stance, ready on the bima to do some good singing. So let's do that together. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah be'alema divrach chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. The congregation will say, heiche mirabba mavarach le'alam olam me'amaya yitbarach. We repeat that word, of course. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'al ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh ve'yithadar ve'yit'aleh ve'yithalal shemei de Kedusha berichu le'ela min kol birchata ve'shirata tushbechata ve'nechemata ta'amiran be'alema ve'imru amen. I did it differently than last time, didn't I?
Yeah.
That's called Musaf.
Yeah, I thought that's good to keep me on my toes.
So what I do? Tushbechata ve'nechemata
Ta'amiran
be'alema ve'imru amen. Good. So that perfectly demonstrates the flexibility of Nusach. As long as you're in that mode, you're okay. You're okay. You have to finish on that sort of
depending on how you're feeling, but if you get home, you're okay.
Exactly right. Tonic note there is really important. Good. Just to look at the words here. This will be good for anyone else reviewing as well. V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal. So yit hadar has the word hadar in it to beautify, right? V'yit aleh has the word to go up, aliyah in it. So aleh, but it's with an ayin. Yit aleh, v'yit halal, like hallelujah, praise.
Okay.
Right. So it's beautified, upraised, and praised. Right.
Okay.
But the important thing is those letters that are in there. V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei de Kedusha. That's it.
Because there's a temptation to v'yit hadar.
Right.
Because you've done it before, so you want to continue on, and
not only that, but we can all keep this in mind. There are some people who are not as careful with it and will even say v'yit halal.
Okay, well.
So it's because the next word is v'yit halal. It sounds yit aleh v'yit halal, and that may be just because when we're in shul doing this, it goes by quickly, and we may not be able to distinguish. I mean, I try and make it extremely clear, but people have been going to shul for a long time and may have had different experiences with listening to davening. So, v'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei de Kedusha berichu. Very good. So, turning the page, on page 156A in this case. So, 3 steps backwards. 1, 2, 3. 3 small steps forwards, and feet together. If you can sense that without looking, that's great. I usually check to see if my toes are in line. All right, and we say the small Adonai Sifatai line. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Ve'Elohei Yaakov, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei Hakol, Ve'Zocher Chastei Avot. Did I go low? Umevi goel livnei v'neihem lema'an shemo be'ahava. Be'ahava, good. Let's just review a couple of words there. So, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak. It's a hard word to pronounce because it's Yitzchak. Velohe Yaakov. Velohe. Because when we have an aleph with a segel under it, it's right? But when we have a vav to make it and you contract it to ve.
Okay.
So not velohe, but velohe.
Velo.
Yeah, velohe Yaakov. I mean, in an Israeli pronouncing it, you'd barely notice the difference. Because and are in Israel are the same, so just about the same. So umevi goel livnei v'neihem lema'an shemo be'ahava melech ozer u'moshia u'magein baruch ata Adonai magein Avraham ata gibor leolam Adonai mechaye metim ata Rav lehoshia. And at this time of the year, we wouldn't say Mashiv HaRuach, but that's today. When somebody else watches this video, it may not be today. So you would say Mashiv HaRuach Umorid HaGashem. That's from Shmini Atzeret to Pesach, right? And then this is Musaf, so we typically put the congregational melody in here at New London Synagogue anyway. Mechalkel Chayim bechesed Mechaye metim berachamim rabim Somech nofelim verofei cholim Umatir asurim Umkayem emunato Rishenei afar Micha mocha ba'al gevurot Umido melach Melech memit umchayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua, or Umatzmiach Yeshua. Fine, so we're ending up at the same place, just a little modification going on. V'ne'eman ata lahachayot meitim. Let's do that again. V'ne'eman ata lahachayot meitim.
Okay, steps and more steps.
Exactly. Baruch ata Adonai. Mechaye hametim. So that one there isn't a bend and bow.
Okay.
Right?
Is there? I've always wondered what the kind of reason for bending and bowing at certain points and bending and bowing.
So it's a good question. So essentially we're bookending the Amida, the outline portion of the Amida. The first section, the avot, is the opening blessing. And actually, some prayers, when there's multiple paragraphs or a long paragraph to a prayer, there's a bracha at the beginning and at the end. So we bend and bow for both those because it's the opening bookend of the Amidah. And then what happens is, if you turn on, we don't bend, not counting the Kedusha, which has its own choreography, but there's no bending and bowing. The next time we bend and bow is in Ve'al Kulam, Ve'chol HaChayim, yes, it's Ve'al Kulam.
Yeah.
And that is the closing section of the Amidah where the section for peace really is an addendum.
Okay.
The Birkat Kohanim and the Sim Shalom is like an extra, it's not added later, but it's a very separate piece. So we end that section with the bend and bow here, Baruch Atah Adonai. Those are the only ones we bend and bow. Now, Modim, we just bow.
Okay.
We'll get there, of course, probably today. Actually, we won't because we're not doing it out loud stuff. But this is a good conversation to have. So we have a little bit of a bow there, and then we bend and bow at Baruch Atah Adonai Hatov Shimcha Ulechana Elohodov, and that's it. And then at the end of the Amidah, when we take our 3 steps backwards and 3 steps forwards to end the Amidah itself, which is at the end of the full Kaddish in our case, of the heiche Kedusha, that's a different kind of bend and bow, different kind of bowing.
Okay.
There's left, right, and forward. So the short answer to your question is bookends.
Okay.
Yeah, the beginning and essentially the end of the. Okay, good. So we're back on. So we did Mechaye Hametim. Baruch Atah Adonai Mechaye Hametim. And then we turn on the page to the Kedusha. The congregation will, if we're lucky, mutter something or other.
Yeah.
And our feet are still together for this. And now we're in Ahavarabas, right? So we need yada da da yada da 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 yada da da yada da 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 yada da 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 da. That's going to be our new mode for the Kedusha. And in fact, if it was a full repetition of the Amida, we would stay in that mode for the rest of the Amida as well.
Okay.
So, and yes, there's a mouthful in these words, but part of the reasons for that is because I'm being meticulous about pronouncing all the shva nas and not pronouncing those shva nachs. So in other words, not naritzcha, but na'aritzecha. So all the ayins and alifs have their glottal stops, and all the shvas, the two dots that are supposed to be pronounced, are being pronounced. Na'aritzecha ve'nakdishecha kesod siach sarfei kodesh hamakdishim shimcha ba'kodesh kakatuv yad neviecha ve'kara zeh el zeh ve'amar. Good. And then the congregation will go kadosh, 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 and we go up on our tippy toes for each of the kadoshes, and we do that repeat after them. Kadosh, 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 Adonai tzivaot, meloch chol haaretz kevodo. And we would go right on. Kevodo malei olam, misharetav shoalim ze lazeh. Aye mekom kevodo leumatam baruch yomeru. And they'll say baruch kevod, and we repeat it. Baruch kevod Adonai mimekomo. Good, and go on. Mimekomo hu yifen berachamim ve'yachonam hameyachadim shemo. Erev avoker bechol yom tamid pa'amayim be'ahava shema omerim, or shema omerim is better. Then they go shema Yisrael. Yes, okay. Exactly. And then we repeat after them, or say it with them, but repeat after them is more technically accurate, right? So shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. That's great. Go on. Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu, Vehu Yashmienu, Berachamav Shenit, Shenit Le'enei Kol Chai, Lihyot Lachem Le'Elohim. They'll say the next line, we repeat it. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Go right on. Uvdivrei kodshecha katuv le'mor. And the melody. Yimloch Adonai le'olam Elohayich Tzion L'Dor Vador Hallelujah. And of course, and I forgot to, there's a little tippy toe for Yimloch.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do that as well.
Yimloch Adonai le'olam. Yeah.
Okay.
So hallelujah. So now we're in this sort of major key, and the trick is we have to get back to Ahavarabah, which has a more minor feel to it, right? I mean, it does. It's a harmonic. It's similar to minor scale, but it's got the flat second, the raised third, right? So hallelujah. So there's two options, or more, but what key do we go in? Do we go L'Dor Vador, hallelujah, L'Dor Vador, and then we're using the same ending note, right? Or if that's going to be too high, hallelujah, relative minor, L'Dor Vador. That's going to be more comfortable for more people.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's
right. You know the concept of relative majors and minors, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the way I would recommend.
Okay.
Hallelujah. L'Dor Vador nagid godlecha. U'lenetzach netzachim kedushatecha nagdish. Veshivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam va'ed. Ki el melech gadol vekadosh ata vekadosh ata.
There's one more step than you.
That's correct,
think.
because you
Okay.
need to. Osh ata. Yes, so that way, if you add one more note onto the dosh, you can do ata in puzzle form.
Okay.
Right? Vekadosh ata baruch ata Adonai. Ha'el ha'kadosh. Let the congregation know it's time to shh. Right. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. We can have a seat for a moment. So that's fantastic. I hope that review is helpful for anyone watching on YouTube or through the synagogue website. So just to be clear again, for a heiche Kedusha, the rest. Well, actually, there's different ways of thinking of it. Actually, the way I was taught to handle a heiche Kedusha is that for a congregation that would have sung along with you, the avot, so Baruch Atah Adonai, because when some congregations in a heiche Kedusha, everyone sings that all together.
Mm-hmm.
We're not a congregation like that. In this congregation, the cantor sings it as he would for the repetition, and everyone sort of listens, joins in from Mechakel. So when the congregation sings along, they don't need to go back and do it again. They just continue on privately on top of page 158. So they would just stay where they are. They would just turn the page and keep reading privately. In our congregation where they don't say it, everyone goes back to the beginning, in theory. They're supposed to anyway, and does it all privately. There's other opinions that say at Shacharit you would repeat it, and Mincha you don't, or the other way around. I'm not even really sure. It makes most sense to me that if the congregation says it in the first place with you, they've done their obligation.
Yes.
And if they haven't, they should go back. And as the leader, I model that for them.
Okay.
There's also a difference of opinion about whether the Shliach Tzibor, the cantor, versus the congregation should go back. Like the cantor goes on, the congregation goes back, or vice versa. I model it. I take my 3 steps backwards again, I take my 3 steps forwards, and I do from Baruch Atah Adonai privately, but with all the choreography that a person will want to do.
Do you think more kind of the role of the cantor is to for the repetition, for the benefit of people who perhaps haven't been able to go, or it's to lead them in that? Is it more of a, like you're a bit of a sort of I'm just checking in and here it is, or is it actually you are leading and you take the place of kind of their prayers?
Right. Well, I mean, it depends what the congregation needs.
Okay.
If you're in a congregation where everyone kind of knows what to do and they just go do it, the cantor doesn't have to do that kind of stuff. But I think certainly in the Masorti and conservative movements where the congregation tends to, not always, but tends to like the cantor to be a guide for them as best that the cantor can, I try and give them what they need to be able to know what to do next. That's why we do things like, and cantors are trained in this, in doing, Pamaim be'ahava Shema Omerim Shema Yisrael, and then I might go quiet.
Yes.
Let them do it. So it depends what the congregation needs are. I can sense and it's not just a congregation. Some days people might be singing. Some days people might be quieter, and then I have to do more leading. It's a good question. And certainly as you're thinking about, leading a service, the things that I'm teaching you about, going ahead and saying it with the congregation, those are valuable tools because you can't go wrong with that. If you do something and then you leave it for them to carry on and they do nothing, there's like an awkward whatever. Yes. But if you go on, they'll join in. Yeah. And then the duty is done. the obligation is fulfilled.
Yeah. And you'll learn quickly if they are not too keen on you joining in with them as well.
Correct. That's right. Oh, the fun of a new cantor, a new congregation. That's it's like a whole year of discovery. So, anyway, that's very good. So, assuming we've gone back to the beginning and we've done the whole thing silently, we say all of this. Obviously, choosing the sections for the holidays and skipping the stuff for the Aseret Yemei Teshuvah if it's not the Shabbat between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And we keep turning on. We bend. We bow at Modim. Both private and aloud.
Yes. That's generally the first 9 words. Just
I would say the first 3. Modim anachnu lach.
Okay.
Modim anachnu lach. I mean even back up by lach.
Yeah.
I mean the idea is modim is we thank you, right? So
an expression of that. Yeah.
It literally shows it. Good. So of course during a heiche Kedusha, because it's all silent, you don't get the Birkat Kohanim. It doesn't get said, and you don't say that privately either. It's a communal prayer. It's absolutely communal. It's the Kohanim blessing the congregation, not blessing, but being the vehicle to bless the congregation with God's blessing. So when it's private Amida, there's no congregation. In essence, we just skip that and go on to Sim Shalom and privately, and then there's this what's called a personal, I guess the personal prayer as the Sim Shalom Sidur calls it, Elohai Natzor L'Shoni Meira, and it finishes with 3 steps backwards at Oseh Shalom Bimromav, and bow left at that point. Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, bow right.
Okay.
And Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, bow forward. And then upright for V'yimru Amen. Different people do it slightly differently. As long as you get the 3 bows in between, Oseh Shalom B'Romav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. It doesn't really matter. The motion itself is a matter of taking your leave from God. And as you would bow to a queen, a king, and step backwards, that's kind of what we're doing. 3 steps backwards and then bow. Good. So then again, this is a little tip for the Shliach Tzibor who's newly leading a congregation, a first time leading, what have you. Just because you're finished doesn't mean everyone else is finished. You may be faster than other people. You might be slower than other people. That's okay too. Finish your Amida. And then take stock of where your congregation is. If you see that, first of all, by law, you need a quorum of a quorum to go on to the Kaddish. What does that mean exactly? Let's say you have a congregation of a minyan, 10 people. If 6 of them have finished the Amida, it's deemed 6 of them is of course one more than half of the minyan. If they're finished, then it's deemed that on average most people have finished, and you could go on reasonably without causing what's called a tircha de tzibur, a burden on the community. So those 6 people that are showing by moving around or by talking to each other or sitting down or whatever, they're showing that they're done. And it's your responsibility not to cause a burden to them just because other people might be slower. So that being said, that law, even you don't have to count a whole congregation. In fact, we don't count people traditionally. So if you sense that there were 6 people, even if there's 150 congregants, you could go on. But then there's the other things you want to look to see if the rabbi's finished, if the cantor's finished, if there are any dignitaries, and so forth. So just the seichel, the common sense of knowing when to go on with the service, see that most of your congregation's ready, and then go on. Okay, I took a long way to say, see if most of your congregation's ready.
No, it's important. I think it's also about having enough space and time to feel that when you finish, maybe also you want to reflect, or maybe you want some space, not to just be pushed into a next section that maybe feel you're not ready for that.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's
nice. Yeah. I mean, again, yes, your job is to pray to God, but you're not praying for your congregation. Hopefully, sometimes you are. So, I mean, some people count on you to be their voice, and that's acceptable, but you're there to take care of your congregation, so you should know where they are and be cognizant of that, be aware of it. Good. So then the full Kaddish is what I call the standard Post-Amidah Kaddish, not Kiddush, Kaddish. I must be thirsty or something. It goes back to Hashem Malach mode, this major mode, right? Yit gadal ve'yit kadash me'raba be'alema divarach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. Yes, so your tendency there was to go back to the same tune that we did at the beginning. It's different. It's a different Hashem Malach, right? Because Hashem Malach has this beautiful thing of subfamilies in it. So it has avot, and it has Kabbalat Shabbat, and it has Sheva Brachot. There's different modes, which are submodes of this sort of basically major thing, but you can have the flat seventh very often in this mode. Here we're going for a different motif. It's yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 da, and then back to that again. Yada da 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 yada da da da. Okay, so the idea is we want to be careful not to slip back to yada da 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 da. That's not what we want. Okay,
it's easily done.
It is easily done. So you have to kind of learn it like a separate song almost.
Okay.
That's the way I think of it. So Yid Gadal ve'Yid Kadash. Sorry, Yid Gadal ve'Yid Kadash me'ra. I just did exactly what I'm not supposed to do. Yid Gadal ve'Yid Kadash me'raba be'alema divarach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'izman kariv ve'imru amen. Congregation will say, heiche by the way, just I'm aware that way of chanting that in that line in recitation tone, we learned about those, is I think it's fairly unique to England. In North America and in Israel, they'll go Yehesh Me'Rabba Mevorach Le'alam Maya Yitbarach. That's Old Ashkenaz pronunciation a little bit. Yehesh Me'Rabba Mevorach Le'alam. So whatever, but there could be a melody. Here there won't be. Okay. It'll be recitation tones. So then we pick up. They'll go Yitbarach. We just pick up the same tune as the beginning. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnasei. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei Kedusha brichu. And a little pause to let people know it's their turn. Going on. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alema ve'imru amen. Lots of recitation tones.
Yes.
Yeah?
Okay.
And we go on. So this one, this is... the next two lines, the combination of these next two lines are what typify the Post-Amidah Kaddish. Tit kabal tzolotohon, it's a line asking that our prayers be accepted. Okay? And then Yehesh lamarabah, may there be abundant peace. The Tit kabal doesn't appear in the mourner's Kaddish. It goes right to Yehesh lamarabah. So the combination of these two lines means you're in an Amida, a Post-Amidah Kaddish.
Okay.
So, Tit Gabal or Tit Gabal Tzelotohon, either way it's fine. Tit Gabal Tzelotohon Uva Utohon Dechol Yisrael Kodam Avuhon Divishmaya Veimru Amen Yehei Shalom Araba Min Shemaya V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. So now 3 steps back before this.
Okay. It's interesting because you get lots of recitation tones and then a lovely bit of decoration and then straight back into the recitation tones.
Yes.
So you've got to be on the ball with that.
That's exactly right. And in fact, there's a reason for that. What's the reason for recitation tones?
Get through it.
This is the end of the Shabbat morning service. I mean, the statutory part of it anyway, and people are ready to fold up their talesim already. Talit already. So it's time to move forward. It's not time for a big thing. That said, don't go faster than you're comfortable going, certainly at first. You can get faster at it over time, but yeah. Okay, so 3 steps back. 1, 2, 3, and then Oseh shalom bimramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. There's different ways of doing that too.
Okay.
Oseh shalom bimramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al. Okay, so different people do it different ways. It's interesting. There's this text. There's no commas after shalom or aleinu.
Okay.
And so grammatically, it could go either way. Hu ya'aseh shalom, who gives peace, aleinu. So is it gives peace to us and all of Israel? Or is it who gives peace to us and all of Israel? We just don't know from this siddur. So you can do it either way. It's grammatically corrected. You know, I saw a great T-shirt once. It said, "Let's eat, comma, grandma," and then underneath it said, "Let's eat, grandma." And it said, "Punctuation, it saves lives." Great T-shirt, loved it. Okay,
the book Eat, Shoots and Leaves.
Exactly. Good. So, the recording that I've got online of this, the Yehesh Lama Rabbah, may have a little bit of a different tune. I tend to go to change it up a little bit. So we're going Tirkabal Salotohonu Va'otohon Chol Yisrael Kodamu Vohondi Vishmayave Vishmayave Mru Amen, and then sometimes I go Yehesh Lama Rabbah Min Shemaya. It's just a little bit of a just a difference. Chayim Aleinu L'shabeiach Ve'imru Amen.
That makes sense, because that Amen, also some people who are really ready to leave, they might think that that's the point where they can walk out.
That's right.
So you've got to remind them that that's also coming.
There you go. There's other things you could do with this. I mean, musically speaking, there's compositions, not the whole thing. I mean, like the Oseh Shalom Bimramav particular. Some congregations go, "Oh, Oseh Shalom Bimramav," gets the congregation singing one more time before Adonai, essentially. Okay, so that's one possibility. Oseh Shalom Bimramav, Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. Or ve'imru Amen is better because you tell the congregation what to do. Amen. Okay.
It's a nice way to close and just finish things off.
It is. I mean, certainly the fundamental is the nusach, and you can just do it. Oseh shalom b'ramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. But unlike the other paragraphs, the other amens, that one should have like a real cadence to it, a real ending feel, right? Ve'imru Amen, ve'imeru, or ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru Amen, that kind of thing. Good. Okay, so that is the Musaf Amida, which is most of the first chunk of learning that I want to do, because it stands alone as a service. So somebody stepping in can do just what we've learned last week, and we'll just finish up this week with the next 2 pages, and that's all that you need to do to lead that part of the service.
Great.
You know, it's important to know that people, you wouldn't have a shliach tzibor step in and out of the role, like one person do, lead the opening, the avot, and then another shliach tzibor leading the rest of it.
Continuity.
Right. Well, you know how I said sections of services are bookended by Kaddishes, the Chatzi Kaddish before the Amida, the full Kaddish at the end. It should be one person doing all of that. There are exceptions to that. For example, if somebody's going to interject the Shacharit Shacharit service with Hallel, somebody else can lead Hallel.
Okay.
But the person who said the Kaddish before the Shacharit, at the beginning of the Shacharit service, would be the person who says the full Kaddish after the other person does Hallel.
Okay. So they still
have to do those bookends. So there you go. Okay, so the next page, 182. It's not the Amidah, but it is part of the sort of conclusion of the service. it's still considered Musaf, but it's really well, after Aleinu, it becomes non-statutory. So Adon Olam, Anim Smirot, these things are fungible in terms of the sanctity of the service. Okay, so Ein Kelohenu, any number of tunes are acceptable. We most often at New London do Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkenu. Oh, we have to go back 1 second. I'm sorry. I forgot something that I wanted to mention. Back in the Kaddish, looking at the first paragraph, second line, V'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye, it says Dechol Beit Yisrael.
Yeah.
Some Sidurim don't have the Beit.
Okay.
Dechol Yisrael.
Okay.
What I'll tell you is that if you've learned it one way, and by force of habit you say what's not the way it's not written in whatever Sidur you happen to be using, don't fret it. It's fine. The meaning isn't changed, and it's my experience that from congregation to congregation, when a Shliach Tzibor does something the way they would have done it at home if they're on the road or whatever, a guest Cantor or whatever, there seems to be an understanding that certain things are different. People who are knowledgeable know that this is different in one Siddur or different one Siddur from the other. There's a general acceptance that, okay, fine, no big deal.
Yeah.
But just so you know, that you're aware, the Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, and the lives of all of the house of Israel, house, Beit, or just the lives of the house of Israel. I'm sorry, the lives of all of Israel.
Okay.
It means the same thing. Okay, and some Siddurim have that Beit and some don't.
So it's just a stylistic.
Yeah. If you'll all excuse me, I'm gonna go get that. But maybe Andy's back though. Shalom was there. Hi, come in. It's not even for us. Sorry, everyone on YouTube. Hiya. Yeah. Excuse me. So you were on door duty. Okay. Okay.
So this is the inclusion is just a stylistic issue.
Yeah, I mean, different publishers will just choose
You're
different
not going
sources.
to upset anybody.
Yeah, and there's also you get different geographic and cultural influences as well. So even though our book is Ashkenaz, there may be a Sephardi custom thrown in here or there. So it's a piece of Sephardi nusach. So that's good. Before we do Ein Kelohenu, I'm thinking this would be a good time to take a little bit of a break. We'll just, if you want to use the facilities or get a drink, get a cup of tea or whatever, and we'll come back in 5-6 minutes, and that will give me a chance to start a new file on that, so we don't lose any data.